Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and it's been a while since I've done one of these type of videos. I'm talking about a buy or sell video. Now, I think years ago I did do a video. Maybe. I actually don't remember. I might have done a video where I talked about a possible Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4. But that was before Spider-Man No Way Home. That was before the actual reality where Tobey came back to play this character. And so now I'm changing things a bit. Now I am presenting a different Spider-Man 4 with that original cast, but set after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. So as we saw at the end of that movie, Tobey Maguire supposedly, hopefully, went back to his world, his universe, and he confirmed that he was back with MJ. And so I've always wanted the movies to eventually get to a point where Peter Parker was an adult, where he was no longer a teenager or high schooler. I mean, I love that era, don't get me wrong, of Peter Parker as a high school kid. But now that we have grown and seen Tobey's Peter Parker especially get older, I would love for us to go back to his universe and we see that not only is he with MJ, is he with Kirsten Dunst. Yes, it's very important to also bring back Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane Watson. And hell, I would even be okay with Sam Raimi directing this movie. I know some people might not love that. Other people are like, how can you do a Tobey Spider-Man movie without Sam Raimi? I think I'm more on that side. Like, if you couldn't get him, if he didn't want to do it, especially because he just did Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, maybe he would be open to going back to that world. And so in this story, not only is Peter Parker back with Mary Jane, but I want them to have a daughter. This is something that happened in the comics. And, you know, the idea of Peter now being a teacher, I want to see that. I want to see some growth in Peter's not just life as a superhero, but his personal life, and seeing him enjoying being a teacher and helping other kids, to see that relationship get to a point where they're parents now. But maybe also we can portray Mary Jane, Kirsten Dunst's Mary Jane, as not a selfish, unlikable type person, right? Maybe if she's a mom now, she'll be more loving and endearing. And it's the way that those other movies wrote Mary Jane that I admit, not always at times the most likable. Them having their daughter, even just being present. I'm not saying she has to be a big part of the story, but her being present can set up for the possibility, because you know Sony would be all for this somewhere down the line, future spin-off movies, which I will do other videos talking about future spin-off movies, believe you me. But eventually you can do a movie where their daughter grows up to become her own hero. But that's later down the line. This movie, I think it would be nice. Now, because it's after the events of No Way Home, some people might wonder, well, did Tom Holland's Spider-Man, did his choice to save all of those villains actually mean anything? Do they go back to that exact moment where they die and they still die? And if that's the case, well, that's really disturbing, not just for them, but his aunt died for no reason. So no, I want to establish that in Tobey Maguire's world, Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn, he's alive. We're going to see Norman Osborn alive and well. He's no longer a crazy lunatic, bipolar type dude. Like, no, he'll be back to being a business guy, even a better business person, or just a better person in general. Also, it's a great excuse to bring back Willem Dafoe, even if he's just there just to be a side character. But I want some ramifications. So it's not like No Way Home undoes the Tobey Spider-Man trilogy, right? I want to be this weird, crazy, mess where Willem Dafoe is alive now, but his son Harry Osborn is still dead. Because obviously you're probably not going to bring back James Franco for reasons. And so if you establish that he came back to this world, he has a second chance at life, but the stuff that happened with James Franco still somehow, some way happened. It's this weird flux of chain of events in time where maybe Norman can come back, but he comes back in the present day, and so that's why everything with Harry happened, and he has to deal with that. Also, as the main villain of the movie, let's bring in the Hobgoblin. And I think the Hobgoblin would be interesting. And no, I don't want it to be Ned or Jacob Babylon, obviously. But I like the mystery of a new goblin is here. It's not Norman Osborn, but maybe because he doesn't know for sure, right? He's not sure. You can play with that us as the audience, we don't know if it's indeed Norman back as a type of goblin because he blacks out when he becomes the goblin, right? So that's why he doesn't know. Tobey Spider-Man doesn't fully trust him, is keeping an eye on him. You can have that mystery going on. Obviously, eventually it will be revealed that the Hobgoblin is somebody else. I don't know which character you can make that be, whether it's like another teacher that's jealous of Peter Parker, or just, I don't know, just some other person can be the Hobgoblin. I don't think it has to be this big, huge twist of a reveal. But I also, now this might sound like too much going on, but honestly, given the way that superhero movies are right now, I think we can make all of this work. I don't know if Sony by themselves can handle all of this without making it feel too much, but maybe Marvel Studios can do it. So I also want to have Alfred Molina back. Same deal, or similar deal as the Willem Dafoe thing, where the events of No Way Home have fixed Alfred Molina, or at least he's no longer a bad person. He's no longer a villain. So we come now here and he's alive. So he doesn't die like he did at the end of Spider-Man 2, but he still has those mechanical arms attached to him, right? So maybe you have a moment where Tobey Spider-Man tries to help Alfred Molina, tries to help Doc Ock, and they're trying to figure out what they can do, how to pry the arms off of him without killing him, especially because they're linked by that chip. Even the new chip, there's still some sort of mental connection there. And whatever happens, whether it's because of an attack by Hobgoblin trying to blow up the equipment, or maybe just an accident in general, it causes Peter and Doc Ock to swap bodies. Now, I know that sounds wacky. I know that sounds maybe too goofy for some people, but there is proof, positive evidence. In the comic books, this has happened. They did a whole series of a run, and that was quite popular, actually, called The Superior Spider-Man. And that's where I'm getting to. I think instead of just calling this Spider-Man 4, because, yeah, it would be cool to see Spider-Man 4 and to know that it's Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi and the whole gang. But if you titled this movie Superior Spider-Man, not only would it get people jazzed, because there's a huge fan base that thinks that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is the superior Spider-Man, that he is the best Spider-Man of all time. So you can play off of that idea as well, that, well, Tobey, his movie is called The Superior Spider-Man. But also it's named after that comic book run. It's named after that story. Now, in that story, it's a lot more wacky and convoluted, right? Where it's Peter is dying, and his body, the only way to stop it from completely decaying and going away, he has to make a dying wish, and he swaps bodies and minds with Dr. Octopus. It's a little out there. It might be too confusing to try to make that exact story work, but a version of it, a different version of it, to have them swap. You have the whole movie from that point on, where Dr. Octopus in Tobey Maguire's body can, like, because he's still a good person, right? Like, he's not a villain, Dr. Octopus. He's not a bad person, but he's not Peter Parker. So he could have a sense of, like, holy crap, I'm in a younger body, or at least a more fit body. I have the Spider-Man abilities. And while Peter maybe is trying to figure out how to reverse it, or while they're trying to figure out what to do with this, there's still crime going on out there. So Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man's body has to go out there and save people and act as Spider-Man, even though it's not really Spider-Man. I feel like that's something new, something different, something fresh for the movies. I think this could be something special. I think this could be something cool. You can even have, because it's not really Peter Parker, we can have some fun with the Bully Maguire stuff. The Bully Maguire stuff is the best memes that we've had in recent times. So why not have an excuse for Tobey to act like a dick for a little bit, or at least a cocky, arrogant, I don't necessarily need more dancing, but you know what I mean? Like he can just have moments of being different and being looser and being cockier because it's really Dr. Octopus. Because I read an interview like a year or so ago where Bryce Dallas Howard said that she would be totally up for coming back as Gwen Stacy because the rumors of Tobey coming back at that time. So why not bring back Bryce Dallas Howard as Gwen Stacy? Why not have a situation where Alfred Molina's character, or Alfred Molina, Doc Ock as Peter, doesn't want to sleep with Mary Jane out of respect for Peter, right? Like he's there in the home, but he knows that's Peter's wife, so he doesn't want to disrespect him. So he goes off and runs into Gwen Stacy and maybe hooks up with her, and it's a weird moment. It's a weird love triangle stuff, or at least a reason to have some drama there. I don't know. I think a lot of this, yes, does it sound wild? Sure. But can we make something out of this? You're telling me that this potential movie sounds worse than what Sony's doing with their Sony verse, Spidey verse, that they're with the Venom and Morbius and Craven and Madam Web and all that bullshit? Come on. This movie at least sounds better. So guys, let me know in the comments below, would you buy or sell the superior Spider-Man film, aka Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!